Welcome to the Committed Lifestyle Podcast, a place created for you, the woman who is ready to step up her game, up-level her mindset, and commit to taking action towards the life, relationships, and financial abundance she desires. My name is Jody.
And I am your co-host, Aspen, and we're serial entrepreneurs passionate about showing women the juicy tips, tricks, and tools to creating a life they love and loving the life they live.
So if you're ready for that, let's dive in. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. We got a SoloSode with Jody. I'm totally milking this Jode thing, guys. I told you. Hey, I hope everyone is doing really, really amazing today. And I'm excited for this episode because, well, one, I've got no notes. So I am basically throwing spaghetti against the wall, and we're just gonna believe that it's all gonna stick. Well, what's supposed to stick will. And I wanted to just sit down because I've just been very enlightened and very, very aware of the things that I am putting out there into the world and the ways that I am feeling and how that's really transitioning into my daily life, my relationships, the way that I operate in the world, and the way that I feel inside. And so the major topic that I want to talk about today is ease and flow. So there's been a string of events that have happened to me over the course of the last, I'd say probably about 48 hours, that have really been transformational for me in so many amazing, beautiful ways, and challenging at the same time, but just very blissful and very eye-opening. And, I just kind of want to speak to that because I think a lot of us could potentially relate to this. And so I do hope that from everything that I talk about today, that something of this sticks with you and that you can walk away from this feeling like you can operate in more ease and flow towards your greatest, your greater abundance and your highest self. And so this really kind of all started a couple days ago. I was talking to my boyfriend about, several topics, and some things came up about money, and he saw my energy shift and he pointed it out to me, this uncomfortable place that I started to feel like I was in. And it was really a tough topic for me to talk about because I started living in this space of, I didn't want to be judged and whatnot and or criticized or not good enough or whatever it was, this whole string of things going through my head. It really put into perspective that I was not flowing in ease. And that when we operate from ease, if you ever listen to Abraham Hicks, it's always about ease and flow. And, it was very apparent that I was not operating in ease and flow in my internal self versus my external self, and just really, taking note of the thoughts that I was speaking to myself and the way that I was coming across energetically, and how that's all intertwined in the way that we operate in the world and how we receive abundance and how we receive contentment and peace within ourselves, and those knowings of everything we have, we already have it. Everything we need, we already have it. And so previous to this, he had actually told me about this book that he had read, and he, said, I think you'd really potentially like this book. I got a lot of value out of it. And here's the name of it, if at any point, it calls to you. And so I immediately got the book because I just absolutely love and adore him, and everything he seems to say is gold. For the most part. There's a few things where I'm like, the cat video, I didn't really get it. I didn't really get the cat video. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. Anyway, so he's very wise, and so I just appreciate a lot of things that he recommends. So I listened to this book, and this book is called The Big Leap. And if you guys haven't ever listened to it or read it, for me, it's been very impactful. For, the reviews I've read, it's been very impactful. And I know, when it calls you to take a listen to it, I do believe it'll be very impactful for you as well when that time happens for you. And this book is all about identifying your limiting beliefs and your upper limits through courses of, self-sabotage in the way that we can really hold ourselves back from having it all. Where in the book, kind of the core concept of it is we can really not live into our zone of genius because we self-sabotage ourselves in a way that we hold ourselves back. So if one area is going really good, well, our brains will find a way to sabotage a different area so that it keeps us basically stuck underneath a ceiling and not able to expand higher than that. And so while one area might be going really good, it'll find a way to sabotage you and keep you down in a different area that maybe was going good at one point in time. And so that's kind of the core concept of this, and it helps you identify these hidden beliefs. And it was exactly what I needed to hear, because he said to me, he was like, you're doing the upper limiting thing. You're boxing yourself in right now based on all that you're talking about. And so it was so apparent to me. So what I did was, after that conversation, I dove so far deep into this book again, listened to it, dissected it, journaled out all these things that I was doing to take myself out of this ease and flow in life and really hold myself down to being in this, living underneath a ceiling and not being in a place of I can have it all. And so that was chain of event number one. So since, listening to that, all these things keep coming up for me. What am I, is that an upper limit? What is this belief right here? What does that mean? And just being observant to it and not judgmental. And a lot of things I think that we can do is we can judge ourselves very, very, very easily. And that brings our vibration down the pooper, so that we don't truly think that we're good enough or capable enough or whatnot. And then, do you want to know what happens? Then usually there's a lot of overwhelm, anxiety, worry, fear, scarcity, lack. There's so many mixtures of feelings that go along that line of vibration that's so far down there deep, where when we're in that judgmental, criticizing, not good enough space, where usually a lot of those other feelings will follow as well. The worry, the anxiety, the overwhelm. And none of it, I'll tell you right now, none of that will bring you ease, joy, happiness, fulfillment, contentment, abundance, prosperity, wealth, all those things that you say you so badly want and desire to have more than anything. And so, one of now leading into this next story is I met this amazing woman who I was told that I would absolutely love her. We would get along so good. And so of course I wanted to connect with her, and we went and met up today at the park. And her timing could not have been any better, because if you are a mom, you've got kids that you're trying to manage, plus a house, plus maybe a job, plus maybe relationships, or you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to juggle every single thing inside and out, as well as your mental state to keep all the plates moving and spinning, and maybe even have a job too. I don't know your situation, but if you're a human being, more than likely, you've got a lot on your plate. And if you're a woman, I can almost guarantee you've got a ton on your plate. More than you can, usually bite off in a day. And so what I find is a lot of women in the space that I'm in, that we are busy. We're busy going 1,000 miles a minute, trying to, really create something very impactful. And so we're usually led by a mission that comes from our heart, but sometimes we don't always operate from our heart because we get so caught up in the intention behind things, in the doing, in the telling, in this reality of what we call life, in the social media game. We get caught up in all these things that, we really lose that focus. We can lose that focus of ease and flow, and just being able to sift and sort our way through the world, and not having to have it all figured out, and being okay with not being successful, and not being judgmental or criticizing or blaming, and not worrying or living in this anxious state, and not thinking that there's not enough for everyone, because there is. And I see it happen a lot. I see it happen within myself. And that's really what I've been observing. So while I met with this woman, she, just through our conversations, she wasn't coaching me. She wasn't, you need to fix this. I'm sensing that. It was just conversation, no intention. And it was exactly what I needed, because it just showed me that there's times where I'm pulled back down, and I realize that operating in ease and flow is so much easier. And it's like I drown myself in Abraham Hicks daily, because I know, I study that ease and flow is the way to everything that I want from my life, and that I can have it all life. But I would, often put up these limiting beliefs about it, and put up these intentions behind it, and put up this like thinking I need to get something, and that I need to do something, and always be on this agenda instead of being like water and just flowing. And so it was so insightful knowing that, because in this reality here on this earth, the one thing that's not real is how a lot of us show up on social media. And I love social media, don't get me wrong. But, we can do a lot of comparison. We can think that we're not good enough. We can really think that we know what someone's life is like by the way that they are on there. And that's not always the case. We don't always know what's going on in someone's lives. And it's really, for me, seeing how we don't use that as a barometer of how well we're doing in our life, of how good we really do have it, of what our can have it all, what our all looks like is completely different from the person next to you, from the person across from you, from the woman that you're staring at. That you have different goals, values, beliefs, things that make your heart just be set on fire, feeling so alive. And, she really displayed that for me today, is that it's not always about going out there to get, and it should never be going out there to get, maybe getting groceries, things like that. But not when it comes to our relationships with people. We should never have an agenda when it comes to people, and that we want to get this from them, and that by talking to them, we want or putting a monetary value on them. And I know that this might push some of you the wrong way, because you're like, no, Jode, but I need to make money, and I make money through relationships. Yes, I get it. You make money through networking and your product and your service and all of that. I get it, because I'm in the same world as you. But I really think that when we go out to want to co-create with people, that keeps us in that ease and flow state, as opposed to going out and looking at people with a dollar sign attached, or looking at people with, any kind of intention attached to it, because that really creates a lot of that worry, anxiety, stress, fear, scarcity, lack. Because if you don't get it, then you're not good enough. Then it's not okay. Then there's not enough. Then you're not in that, you're not hitting your goals. You're not whatever. But you know what? At the end of the day, wouldn't you rather, instead of, trying to get from a ton of people that maybe don't fill you up, maybe you co-create with several people that absolutely fill your cup up and keep you in this ease and flow state. Maybe that's the way to more of the prosperity. Maybe that's the way out of, this glass ceiling we've put on ourselves. Maybe that's just one of the ways to more ease and flow in our life so that we can create more of what it is that we want. And I think all of us at the end of the day, it's about money as being one of our main things that we need for survival, right? But it's not about having the money. It's about what that money will do. And for me, I know one of those things is more experiences, more memories, being able to buy something that, someone would really, really, really love. And coming from that space of co-creation and why that is important to me to have that strong relationship and that strong monetary, success, what that means in my eyes, nobody else's, but just really creating that ease around there so that you know what it's for, so that there's a meaning to why you do what you do, but not an attachment to it, not an intention to a human being, as that's the only way you'll get it. We receive money through energy. And so if we're co-creating with people, then it's all just energy. We're sharing energy. So with all this, I'm kind of going on a lot of ways right now, but just flow with me. Seriously, flow with me like water. Is co-creation is the way, in my opinion, to having more of what it is that you want. Identifying these self-limiting beliefs and working through them and just seeing them, saying, hi, I see you, you're there, that's cool, but what are you more? You're nothing more than just a game that's being played in my head by maybe a game that's in our reality. And that game could easily be the social media game, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to compare ourselves to others. Whereas if we just do what feels best for us, which is probably creating more memories, which is probably having more laughs, which is probably doing something for someone where you get feedback that makes them cry out of gratitude, which is maybe seeing someone's heart open and you seeing them just take a breath. You seeing them just know that they're loved. You seeing them know that they're heard, know that they're felt, know that they are important in this world. That's going to create more flow, more ease, and that you're doing right in the world. And those little things right there bring you more success and abundance and whatever that means in your eyes. And at the end of your life, you can show up feeling like you lived well. Because when you really look back and think you lived well, it's not going to be about all the stuff you did. It's going to be about the memories you created, the people that you helped, the love that you felt, the love that you got to give, and those feelings of knowing that you weren't just a human doing, that you were just actually a human being while you showed up and decided to just show up and play in this beautiful, beautiful thing we get to call our life. So you guys, I really hope that helps you. I hope more than anything that you whatever speaks to you in this episode, take it and roll with it. and I'd love to talk to you more. If there's something, about something that I said and you want to just dive a little deeper on that with me, reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. And I just really encourage you guys all to just go out there without intentions when it comes to people, and don't look at them like a dollar sign or that you need to get something from them. And don't go out there with thinking that you need to be anything more than what you are, because you're perfect. And, self-limiting beliefs will just hold you back from the life that you want. And I think all of us can fully agree that the last thing we ever want to do is show up at the end of our life and say, I wish I would have done more of this. I wish I would have done less of that. And that's what I really want for all of us. And that's what I want for you. And that's what I want for myself. And so you guys, with that, I hope that this episode resonated with you. Thanks for flowing with me like that water. And I just say, let's hop on a raft and let's just cruise. Let's go tubing. What? Tubing down the river. I kind of like it. All right, you guys. So just like I say every time, we've only got one life to live. Much love to you. I just love and adore you guys so much. And until the next time I talk to you guys, you know what? Take care, and I love you. All right. Bye.